I'm Suzi Landolfi, and welcome to Be Crazy Well. Now, why would a therapist say that? Because we all have mental health struggles, even therapists. The good news is we have so much more information about how we can be crazy well. On my podcast, we don't focus on what's wrong with us. We want to know what happened to us. We're going to explore how trauma affected us, both negatively and positively. That's right. I said positively. It's called post-traumatic growth, and it's a real thing. Be Crazy Well will share mental health wellness practices, the newest mental health research, and most importantly, how we all get to create the person we deserve to be and the life we deserve to live. So join the mental health evolution and be crazy well.
To see within is to know yourself.
Record now. Recording in progress. Because I never not want to record Loren Weeks. Because if you don't record Loren, then you're going to miss a whole bunch of great wisdom. Like Colonel Weeks. He's like more, we should call him Years, Colonel Years, because he's got many years on him, not just weeks. And he's far from being weak. So remember that. Hi, I'm Suzi Landolfi. Welcome to Be Crazy Well. And I'm happy to say that I consider Loren to be crazy well. Like you are, Loren. That is a real badge of honor in my life, that you are crazy well. And so he's agreed to help us follow him on his journey with a new physical concern, through the VA, because we keep doing this wonderful series on the VA. Like, what does it do well? What doesn't it do well? And how can you, as customers, help improve, and how can you be your own advocate? And Loren's going to share a story right now about where he found a very unusual advocate for him over this past week. So Loren, briefly bring us up to speed about what happened, what was happening to you, and what you've been doing, like going to the VA, and why.
Okay. So last time that I was on was I was waiting for the ear, nose, and throat consult. I coordinated that. The community care outreach was excellent.
You did
very
that.
good.
I might stop you for a minute just to point out the things you did. You just said I coordinated. So you coordinated with the community care. You picked up the phone?
I did. I did coordinate with them. They were the ladies there were excellent. And they were working, the ladies, Brittany was working with the ear, nose, and throat. There was 2 different ear, nose, and throat systems. And she was working very hard to get a console, but the timing wasn't right. But lo and behold, one came available last Friday. And she called me earlier in that morning to tell me that one was not available. And then about 20 minutes after she called me to tell me that the ear, nose, and throat from Bay Health that she was trying to coordinate with calls me and says, "Hey, we have an appointment on Friday, 2 days from now. Can you come in?"
So she actually followed through twice in one day.
Yep. And I called her back and said, "Hey, I told them, yes, can you send the console back?" And so she was like, "Got it, I'm on it." And she worked it quick. So excellent care. Excellent. So I can't say nothing bad there. But it's persistency, it's persistence and getting through the phone system at the VA is half the battle. So went to the ear, nose, and throat specialist on the Friday, and he did the scope down the nostril to see if there was an actual something there. That was fun. And nothing showed up. So little, and he checked the CD with all of the with CAT scan on it with
Did you
contrast.
bring the CD with you? Did you have
Yes,
that with you? So again, you kept charge of your records. Like you brought, didn't expect them necessarily to have it. You made sure you had it. I'm just
correct.
looking at things that work.
Right. So and had there was a so the ear, nose, and throat that I got from Bay Health I had used before, so they were already tied with my records from the primary care.
Okay.
So the radiologist notes that my primary care had already looked at the CD and made some notes. They were able to read it.
Right.
So within the system, the Georgetown system, and the radiologist and the ear, nose, and throat that I was working, they all were intact. They had my medical records. They had all the meds and everything. They had all that right there. So that was great. Just they just needed to see the CD. He was the Dr. Robertson, the ear, nose, and throat from Bay Health, did not see anything. And he looked at the CD and from the vocal cords up, did not see anything.
So he actually had, though, a machine, the right machine to play a CD.
Correct. And
Which I've heard has happened times where, oh, we don't use CDs here. Like they don't.
He put it in the computer and he was looking at it and I'm standing there with him and he's like, okay, let me show you this angle. And I'm standing behind him. He's at the computer. I'm looking at it. He's like, okay, let me show you this view. Let me show you this view. He goes, I'm not seeing anything on this from my view, from my professional opinion. I don't see anything here. And I'm like, and we were having a conversation like you and I are having a conversation. And I've seen Dr. Robertson before. So this isn't the first time I've seen him. So I left the appointment. I'm gonna see him in another 2 months as a follow-up. He kept the CD because he's going to have another ear, nose, and throat in his practice to look at it, take a second opinion of it. And so, but from that point, there's nothing from his perspective. There's nothing there that stands out to him that.
Yeah, you still feel something. You obviously are
Correct.
the patient. You're the SME. You know that something's going on in your throat and you have these symptoms. So at this point, you could have gotten pissed and said, "Fuck this! I'm gonna get out of here." And you guys don't know what to do. But you didn't. What did you do next?
So what concerned? So my perspective. One of the things that was on the radiologist report, and one thing Dr. Robertson, the ear, nose, and throat, identified was there's nodules on my thyroid that were noticed.
Okay.
And he said that an ultrasound would be needed. And so I decided to go back to my primary care and get an appointment because she would be the only one who could order that. So I drove back to the CBOC and went to see the doctor because trying to get through the phone system
Right.
at the VA,
Right.
okay, is horrific. So I went in and I scheduled an appointment and they happened to have one, lo and behold. And I went to see on the 30th, no, actually yesterday, the 31st, I went to see my primary care and I got in and see my Dr. Tinney, and she was able to, we came up with a new treatment plan. So what she believes is going on is maybe it's because I still have a sore throat. I still have the headaches. I still have the change of the voice. I still have, headaches. I still have my neck pain. I still have some ear pain going on. And so she's like, okay, maybe it's acid reflux. Maybe that's the issue. So what she has ordered is a series of tests because my sister, who is a doctor, PhD speech pathologist, said that I need the cookie swallow test, the barium cookie swallow test, because she has noticed my swallowing. Whenever I'm done swallowing, I have I have to
Yeah.
cough.
Wait, you went to your sister. So you've got your doctor who you love, who's doing a great job. And she brings up something, and you reached out to someone that you know has some, if not a lot of information about how voices work, how this whole area works. She's a speech pathologist, right? So she's
Right.
right. So you actually went out of the VA system and found a family expert.
My sister will provide expertise whether I like it or not. So she has and she was with me when I went to the Wilkes-Barre, PA when I was sick, and so she's like, oh, okay, and so she's dissecting the report anyway, and she's like, okay, well, okay, so my sister is very impassioned about her profession and me, and so she's like, okay, this is what she's been noticing my swallowing and a few other things, and so she goes, no, when I told her about the ear, nose, and throat, she's like, no, you need to this is the test, because she's worked with ear, nose, and throat specialists in her profession,
Right.
and she learned from ear, nose, and throat because she deals with stroke victims. And
so not everybody has somebody like that in their family. So all I'm pointing out was, first of all, you're fortunate you went to her, and some of us do have some outside help. And I think what happens for me is when the organization that I'm asking for help doesn't help me, I get so resentful because I want them to do it, and you should, and I'm a customer, and yada, 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 that I don't expand my view the way you did about, okay, this is what they're doing, good or bad, that's what they're doing. Oh, I can ask my sister. I could ask someone outside the system to also bring that information to you, because ultimately it's about helping you, is it not?
correct. And the goal is, look, I initially, get you come with an idea that, okay, is this, for example, is this throat cancer? That's the initial thing, like, oh my God.
Mhm.
Okay, well, it may or may not be. Okay, it may or may not be. But here's the end state is not whether it's this or whether it's this. The end state is living well. So the point of the matter is if it's acid reflux, it's treatable. And after I talked to you today, earlier, I got home, and guess what's in the mail? The medicine the doctor ordered yesterday arrived in the mail. So now this is the stuff that I'm supposed to take, that's supposed to, not the Prilosec, but it's the or whatever, I don't know what the name of it is, I can't say the name, but it's the stuff I'm supposed to take for the acid blocker, so I can actually take it before breakfast. I'm supposed to take one capsule every morning before breakfast to protect my stomach.
Right.
So this is the stuff, and she ordered it yesterday at 1:00, and it hit my mailbox today at 4:00.
So now I'm going to have all these people, all these wonderful veterans, like emailing me and going, wait a minute, that's not, like, that doesn't happen for me. What's right? And one of the things I want to say is that's true. We know that not everybody's experience is as effective and as forthright as yours. I get that. And, A-N-D, And you do something differently. The phone system is hard to navigate. I'm driving there. Like standing in front of someone and asking for help is very different than on the phone. I don't care what anybody says. The reason being is that we're humans and we connect. I can smile and say, hey, how are you today? Do you know what's going to happen if I do that? Right? Just that, as I have a better chance of getting some help. And oh, good.
And here's the thing. I have been a patient of the West LA system. I've also used the Sepulveda system. I've used the Stanford. I've used Stanford and that system up in Palo Alto. That I've used 4 different VA systems. Okay, so I'm well versed in the California system.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you the drawbacks and the pluses of being out here in little Delaware. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it can be a little pain in the ass.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of the specialists that you say that you have in LA and versus and you have out in the West Coast. But at the same point, I can make those effective relationships that get me a lot closer to the service and get me the personalized. That's the key. I can get the basic personalized services if you treat the people right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of a two-way street. You're right. It's this, because I've actually advocated for veterans that I work with and had to call the VA and work. I just worked with a VA doctor, so I'm not completely. And I remember the first time I had to talk to a VA doctor, and he's like, who are you? I could go, you know who I am? I'm the person that cares about your vet more than that. I could have gone there, but I didn't. And I said, hi, I'm Susan Andolfi, and I'm this and that, and I've been working with this vet, and he told me, gave me your number, and gave me permission to call, and da-da-da-da, and I want to help you help him. I want to be part of your team. Oh, okay. Very different. Very, very, very different. And the veteran appreciated it because someone besides himself was advocating. So you hit the nail on the head. That's the key, is advocating for yourself and finding a team. Like your sister, if she really had some information, she, with your permission, of course, you have to do a release of information, could talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
So here's what I think.
And that's the key to, the thing of it is, I mean, I understand, like even like going into talking to the nurses, they're busy and they've got grumpy people and they've got this and they've got that and all that stuff going in. And just, talking to them about, hey, how are you doing? And, yeah, I don't feel well. My stomach hurts and I've got pains and but you know what? That doesn't mean that I can't be nice to them.
Yeah.
And it goes a long way, but at the same time, I still don't have access to a lot of the great specialists and a lot of the stuff that you would have in LA, because there's a lot of stuff in the LA system that they don't necessarily have here in Wilmington. But at the same point, I can get this type of service, like, there it is.
There it is. It's funny. Everybody knows anything about me that I spent a lot of time going back into the childhood. And one of the things that I tell people is your very first nurse, doctor, government, and system, authoritative system, was your family. If you think about it, they were the ones that provided service for you, how they took care of you. And I know that from my own childhood, I got really great service from my mom, probably too much, and I got none, if not terribly hurtful service from my dad. So I had these two, fighting experiences. And that informs my level of patience and care, and whether or not I can advocate for myself and how I advocate for myself, it informs that. And I now know that. I know that I can be sensitive, to say the least, to a lack of service, a lack of care, being dismissed, which is what my dad did, like all of that. So I go in with that little bit of edge already, are they going to take care of me or not? Right.
Yeah.
And I know that about me because I now understand how that informed my anxiety about going for help. On the other hand, I also know, because I've been old enough and practicing this, I get to be me and to come in with a sense of respect, regardless of what the other person is doing. That's what I get to do for me, because if I'm truly my advocate, then I've got to stay calm. I've got to stay on point. I've got to speak up. I've got to ask for what I need. And like we always say in the huddle at MVP, say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean. So that
And
I know, right? And with a monolithic system like the VA, it's really hard. Because I know you can come in ready. I'm a boxer. I know I come in walking like this sometimes, as opposed to, hey, how are you today?
but you're also going to get the same response back. And my primary care, Dr. Tinney, is great. She's a very analytical person. So she's willing to go out and provide, she'll do the extra tests to if I'm going to go to another specialist, so that those tests are already run. So when I go to the specialist doesn't have to run them. And then you have to wait an extra amount of time before, a decision can be made. So those tests will already there for the specialist. And then it's like, oh, the decision can be, we're going to go this way or that way, or, and so she's a real good setup person for that specialist. So she's going to order, she gave me her notes. So she's going to order the sonogram. She's going to do the swallow test. And then she's going to, there's another, then I need to stop taking these pills, before I do the swallow test, to make sure that we get an accurate picture on what's going on with the acid. And then there's going to be some other tests that we can run for that. But she's like, okay, this is, when you do this, call me. When you're done with this, call me. And then she'll track these things, and then she'll pull me in. But now there's a possibility that she might rotate out as my primary. So that's the greatest problem down the road is if there's the turnover of primary cares, it once you get a team built, then possibility of turnovers. And that's the greatest disruption is, and the VA realizes, I believe the VA realizes this, is that the loss of personnel is, once you get there and once you get stability within that system, then you lose the stability. Then it becomes hard to really provide quality, not provide quality, but
Consistent.
maintain quality when you have the constant turnover of personnel.
So talk to me about one of the things I kept hearing about being in the military is that if somebody goes down for whatever reason, there's like 3 people that can pick up what that person's doing. Like one of the things when you're in a mission, say, that there's this idea that you guys are and women are totally versed in a lot of things, even though you have your own MOS, you have your own whatever, you still back each other up. I mean, that's, I got your back, right? That there's someone that knows the information more than just one person knowing the information. And someone's ready to step in if someone has to step out. And you can be sent somewhere at any time, you'll lose your team, and then you have to make a new team really quickly. Is that true?
Correct.
All right.
And so
go ahead.
Yeah, and that happens, and but there's always that learning curve where you never dip too far down,
Right.
but you're never at that high level of capability where you always have a dip in capability, but you
Right.
never dip to the point where you're incapable of accomplishing the mission.
And the only reason I bring this up is because I think that we could forget that. It's sort of like I'm out of the military now. I want to be, you're supposed to be here, and oh, my doctor's leaving. And I want to say, wait a minute, what I just described is a superpower that most civilians don't have. It's a superpower to be able to just dip a little bit and continue on and, build a new team and be effective and get the mission done. That's an amazing skill and training and practice. And what you said to me today reminded me of your ability, your special ability, Loren, to do that. Well, she might be leaving, so I'm going to have to make sure all my records are still together. Make sure I inform this new doctor about who I am. Make sure we're a good team together. Wait for that person to get up to speed the way Dr. Tinney was. Like, I heard you with, concern, and then I heard solution. But it came from you. It didn't come from, they better give me a good doctor or I'm not going. I didn't hear that from you. I mean, I can imagine guys out in the field going, well, they better give me a good gunner or I'm just leaving.
Well, and that's the point. I mean, the point is, for me, the VA is a resource that the VA is something I value. And I mean, it is what we put into it. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not disgruntled about the VA. They haven't done me wrong. Okay. Let's put it that way.
But you haven't done you wrong either. You've held up your part.
And I look at it from the perspective of, people. There's one thing we've had this conversation. I've had this conversation with a lot of different people, a lot of I don't want to say seniors, but let's put it, people that are older than 65 on Medicare. Okay, because I run a one-room Airbnb here that I don't currently. My neighbor runs it out of the house, right? Okay, and she runs it now. I don't run it anymore. But the people come, and they'll come to the farm, and we'll be talking, and I get to be the hostess with the mostest, and we'll talk about various things, and when we talk about value, what is the greatest value of, what happens when you have Medicare, for example? Okay. I mean, what costs the most in your senior years?
Oh my God, because I am in those senior years. So I'm trying to think about what it is. Well, I'm a little bit of an outlier, but I would probably say medication is one for sure. Most people are on some kind of medication. I don't know. What's been your experience with that? Because I actually don't go to the doctor a whole lot, but I probably will need to soon. My teeth are good. My heart's good.
My mom had one kidney, and she had a lot of other she had stroke issues. And so my dad worked a Caterpillar tractor for 38 years, and he had they had a great healthcare program for my mom and dad post retirement, and they retired in Florida. And Florida is literally, from my perspective of watching it, it's just a warehouse for people to go down there, and doctors and healthcare providers to suck as much money out of seniors as they can, literally, from what I saw, because my mom had so many specialists. So, but the prescriptions just took a lot of money out of my mom and dad's.
That's true.
It took a lot out of that insurance. This, as a 100% disabled veteran, for which I am, this right here, I don't know how much this is going to would cost me, but I'm not paying for that.
Right.
And I won't pay that. I won't be paying for that and I'm looking at that from a perspective of all the things I'm on and all these tests that are running to keep me viable.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah,
at it going,
yeah. You have,
and,
yeah, because that's
and,
not true for me. I still have to pay something.
and I look at this and go, yeah, I, thank you for your service. I'm like, well, you keep the VA viable, then you can thank me for my service, because that's the VA is thanks enough for my service.
Yeah. You know, I think of the word.
Because
Keep going. Keep going. I don't want to interrupt that.
is that for veterans, if they don't use the VA, why wouldn't they use the VA?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really thinking about that, and I know for a fact that there's not a quality assurance across the board on anything, other than maybe McDonald's. You might get the same, hamburger in Iowa that you get in California. That might be true.
In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, In-N-Out burger. There you go. That's even better.
Yeah.
And so that's why I keep saying one of the things that I work on for even me is I have to be my quality assurance. I am a part of this team. I'm the leader of my healthcare team. I speak up. I ask what I need. And if I'm not heard, then I ask for somebody else. And I still say it kindly. I'm not going to just roll over and say, I'm not dealing with them, they're not any good, blah, blah, blah. That would have been me with my dad. Like, my dad was like, I can't talk to him. It's going in one ear and out the other. It's not even going in the air. So then I shut down. And one of the things I'm concerned is we can't change the services that you deserve if the customer shuts down. It's not going to happen. So knowing your own power, knowing this, like, no, I need this. No, I need to hear. No, excuse me. And I really need this test and I really want to know. And I'm going to show up tomorrow. And I know not everybody has all those resources. And I know how difficult it is, especially if you have a catastrophic injury, how even transportation can be an issue. And certainly even just I have a veteran who can't even get to the VA because he's got to save up money to get an Uber over there. So, I mean, there's lots of levels of this that we haven't, gone through. I will say that one of the things that you inspire is that you want to know. I don't walk into the doctor's office and go, well, I don't know, just tell me. No, you want to know, and you keep asking questions, and you want to get more information. And I would imagine part of the reason why you went up the ranks so easily and so well is because of that. There's two kinds of people in the world. People who want to know. Like, I want to know. I want to learn. I want to know. And there's a bunch of people that don't want to know. They either think they already know or they're too afraid to know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. Right? And then they get upset when somebody doesn't service them and give them the care that they deserve. Well, you've already set a precedent that you don't want to know or you don't want to be part of the team. So I'm asking just for everybody to consider how to be part of the team, which you guys do better than we could ever do as civilians.
And here's the thing. Sometimes you might not like the truth, but in the end, the only way to figure out how to move forward is to understand what the truth is.
That's right.
And
yeah.
The truth might suck, but
that's a great title for your book. That's the title for your book, Loren. The truth might suck. Loren, here's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you that once you go through all those other tests again, we're going to come back and we're going to do round 3, which is a boxing term because, I am boxing. So we're going to come back round 3 and we're going to find out more about what you've learned. and what the experience has been even further down the line and in. Is that okay with you?
Perfect.
Oh my God. I'm so grateful for you. And everybody, he has amazing horses and an ass, a donkey, right? I have an ass. I have an ass. I have Jed is my donkey. And so I do promise that when I get on the East Coast again, I'm coming out to hang out with your horses and your donkey.
We'll have the rooms ready, and you can stay as long as you like.
Oh my God,
And
don't say that.
we even have an extra vehicle for you, so you can
Oh,
hang out.
I'm
You
ready.
you
I'm going.
you can drive the farm truck.
Oh, you know I can do that. You know I can do that. That's like, okay, I got you on that. My wild
And,
rescue.
and gas is only $3.50 here in Delaware now.
Don't tell me that. Okay, start packing, family. We're moving again. That's it. Thank you, Lauren. Bless you. I'll see you in the huddle.
See you in the
Everyone,
huddle.
join. If you're a combat veteran or retired professional athlete, please look up Emerging Vets and Players and join us. You'll see Lauren there on the West and East Coast huddles that we do by Zoom, and then we have them in 8 cities around the country. So we would love to have more members there. And remember, Be Your Best Self theme song by Kalvin Love. Go check him out and all his great music. Bless you, Lauren. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, Susie. Take care. Bye-bye.
Love yourself.